Yes, my name is DJ Thamos. Main stage show which deals with these 4 specific albums. These albums, I weigh them so special in my heart. So it's the main stage event. Experience, explore, and enjoy. Don't touch that dial. It's Thamos. Yes, my name is DJ Thamos. My official names are Daniel Thomas Thiga. Born Kitambo, was deaf. Yes. Really quick, I began my production career in the year 2012 in a studio called Crucial. Ilikuwa pale Kibera number 8. That's where I began. Yeah, I began as a beat maker. I was making beats, selling beats, sending beats. And through that, via one of my, the person mwenye alikuwa kinyozi wangu that time, my baba actually used to keep my beats. Then one day he happened to call me on a Saturday evening. And the first artist I met who made my beats go to the TV ni Ekodida. So we did a song called Nina One. I produced the song in 2012. They ended up releasing the song in 2014. Mixing and mastering that time was done at Urban Scotch in Rongai, here in Rongai, with a producer called Chacha. We used to call him Sacha. Yes, so he mixed, he mastered. That time I wasn't even an engineer, I was just a beat maker. So we did the first track in 821. That's the first track that gave me the airwaves. Then moving on swiftly, I joined Grandpa Records. From there, I became a co-producer because the main producer was Visita. So there I began my journey in production. That's where I knew much more of the audio engineering and being diverse as a producer, because when I began, I was only a trap stroke hip-hop producer. Bearing in mind where I came from, we have a lot of hip-hop artists, Kevo K-Force, Octopizo, Virusimbaya, blah, 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 name them. So yeah, so Grandpa, I taught myself how to be diverse. I really produced a lot of tracks. I actually did, I co-produced Dawaya Moto. I co-produced a lot of tracks. Zenye tulikuwa ukishasikia tu na imetoka Grandpa, I was there somewhere. Yes, so I also mainly now produced a song called Ustaarabu. Yeah, it's me, Dufla, Diligon, Visita, Rev, and a guy called Sagodizo. We used to call ourselves Bendi ya Serikali because that time Grandpa was the government. So yeah, so we did that song. It's a rumba fusion. So after that, I produced so many songs for vernacular artists in Grandpa, Masais, Turkanas, blah, blah, blah. Yes, then that was in 2014 to 2016. Then after 2016, I dropped, the contract ended, I dropped, I can't say it ended, let me say I resigned. Then I went to Big Dreams in 2017. That's where I met Kush Tracy. I produced a couple of her tracks. Yes, Mtajua Hamjui, Unadai Wanijua, Aye, and so many other songs, okay? So yeah, I did so many songs there. And then that's how I ended up meeting the first artist called Kaki. Kaki, those days alikuwa anaitwa Emanzila. So we met with Kaki, and he was with a guy called B-Boy Harry. They used to be a duo back then. They used to do so many songs. So Kaki was the first artist I bumped into. We actually met, we spoke in length, we did a lot of things, you see. We connected, you see. So nikiendelea pale kwa Big Dreams, I also met Alpha Mwanamtule, who I did a song for him called Kila Siku. Yes, and other couple of songs, then we had to send them to his former label, which is Main Switch Production. They are under Main Switch Production page, but Kila Siku is my production. So after Alpha Mtule, I met the likes of a guy called Eric Mbala. He's a Congolese, but he's a guitarist, he's a musician now based in Mombasa. Very amazing guy. I also did a song for for some guys, a Congolese guy called Biramo Apasha, Rumba, he's Congolese, Lingala too. Yes, so as I continued there, I met a lady called Monana. I did a song called Jibambe, and I continued with the whole thing. Then in 2017, I think, as it was approaching to the end, that's where I met Nana TMQ. Nana TMQ was the first artist I met, who have also produced for a couple of tracks I'll mention later. But around the same time, I met another artist called John May the Original. Now John May the Original, we met in Big Dreams when I was in Big Dreams, and he was working. So he came, he had these red headphones. These red headphones. He wanted me to listen to a certain track he did. So I listened to it. It was Love Situation, produced at Urban Scotch, Nana Gel Rhythm. And when I heard the song, manze, ushaisikia tu msee, and you just hear the stardomness in them. Just like the way I had Khaki, and that spark ignited. John May was the same. So John May, we agreed to do projects, but we did it after some time, because he was busy, and then now, you know, as time goes, when the right time comes now. So yeah, so that time we began doing a series of songs with John May the Original and Khaki, but Khaki had not yet begun the project he wanted to do. So we began with John May in 2018. We began with his album Love Situation, began in 2018. That's when I had now come from a studio called Big Dreams to a studio called Adonel Music. So we did a couple of songs. We started with Tukondani and, you know, Hakuna Ngori and Niwewe and Where. We did a couple of songs, so many songs. And this album, John May's album, has been a process. It has been a very nice transition. And now towards 2018 to Kingia 2019, that's when now Khaki began his album, which is Turntable Album. So Turntable Album, it's a combination of even also different producers, but it has that fuse of difference of genres, and you have dancehall, you have Afro, you have a lot of things in it. So yes, so Khaki began his album in 2019. So he was actually in contact with Wodomolo as the producer, Mavo, myself, and I actually executively produced the album. Then kuendelea 2019, towards 2019 ishaisha, now towards 2020, that's when now I met Stiny D. Stiny D actually was actually doing, alikuwa namalizia a certain album called the Rona album, of which I had two beats in that album, a song called Monster and a song called 420. I did those songs and Stiny D finished them, and it was good. And then now he began now the album now that we know that is released juicy. It's called the Playback album. I actually did almost the whole engineering of the album, the whole sound engineering of the album. I produced some songs and co-produced some. Like Overseas Indiani, I co-produced, I engineered. You and I is my total production. Another Day is my total production. And yeah, other songs. Yes, so moving on swiftly, again, I met Mike November in 2018 in a studio called Samic Records. Yeah, so Samic Records, there was a producer called Red Sea. So Red Sea was much hands-on on the album. I partly overseed the album and the checking of a few things technically here and there. So I met Mike November there. We bonded, we spoke. So we began the whole friendship and brothership there. So watching him recording the album and, you know, doing the much of the album, I wasn't much hands-on on the album in terms of like nitty-gritty productions, but they overseeing a bit. I was there. I saw some projects being done. Some projects were done in my absence, but the main producer was Red Sea. But it's a nice album. It's called The 13th King by Mike November, who is also a good brand. He brands himself very well. He has his brand company, and he also does a lot of things. So generally, all these albums have really given me a nice experience. Obvious, we can say they've been faced with ups and downs in numerous times because of actually having the basis of having to sometimes taking some time to mix, to master, to do things, you know, and also to make sure that we get the quality thing. We took so much time getting the guitarists, by the way, who really like took time to come. We had Ngugi, we had Henry Ngugi, the guitarists. We also had Isma on the guitar. We mostly they touched on John May's projects, and also being in collaboration with other producers like Abido, who is a very good friend and brother of mine, and who also is an inventor of a sound called the Afro Soul. A good bassist, yes, he also like alichangia mengi. Also having producers like Wodomolo and people like Mavo with Kaki's album, and Steeny D's album. Steeny D actually is a producer also, so him having to put guitars also in his own album and also produce some of the tracks that I engineered, which is good. I actually got to have a very fun experience and a growth experience doing this. I did this in the midst of a lot of crises, even on my own personal life. But this was like therapy to me. These albums, I weigh them so special in my heart because they've really given me the growth as a producer that I can say in time meeting these four people has really made me grow, and which is an amazing thing. The part of the songs and most of the songs of the albums, or most of them were engineered here where we are today in Tafsiri Recording Studio, which is a sub-company of Tafsiri Elite Sounds. And it being that Tafsiri Elite Sounds is a sound company, I've been a friend of Tafsiri for quite some time, and back then when they were a band, and in 2020 I came and we began working here, and that's where I am till now. It's a nice place. We have the CEO, Mr. Harrison Mungai. He's actually helped us so much in facilitating a lot of things, the events, the processes of the mixing and mastering, the engineering, the whole thing. He's actually been hands-on and very supportive of even sharing and spreading the word of the albums. And we actually thank God for him, and we are happy for him and the whole team, because we've had even the artists themselves who have the album coming to help one another, you know, in their own personal albums, and even in other things, in even events. And not to forget a team of very good people who have been on video and hands-on, like YSS, people like Razu from Venom Media, people like Mad Sly Productions, who have been really hands-on on the documentation and on the processes, and even JMO himself for even the instrumentation on the piano, and also the video shooting and the editing, which is a very amazing job. And you see, all this is a joint effort. Even people like Yama Charles who come hosting and interviewing artists, and also people like Billy, Abido, who has been hands-on on like posters, you see, and people like Nana TMQ again for pushing the projects as PR. It actually gets to show you that it's a joint effort, it's a team effort. You cannot do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. You need a team. So we are really happy for Tafsiri Elite Sounds, Tafsiri Recording Studio, Tafsiri TV, and also even the music school itself. Yeah, so it's actually a great thing. And now that the album has been done, yes, so the event that we are about to now do it for the albums that have been actually tirelessly produced and been put out there for the world to hear and to share is actually the main stage show, which deals with these 4 specific albums. It's going to be dope. It's going to be held at Ankara Gardens Resort from 4 p.m. to morning, and the whole fraternity will be there showcasing the best of what they've spent their years doing, the best music, the best bands, the best performances. It's going to be lit. Sound stage is going to be set by this amazing company, Tafsiri Elite Sounds, will be there putting that show for you guys to experience this whole amazing experience. So it's the main stage event. Experience, explore, and enjoy. Don't touch that dial. It's Thamos.